What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a good Friday and a good weekend. I'm having a good start to the weekend. I saw the new Mission Impossible. I thought it was pretty damn great. Tom Cruise in real life, the guy's pretty damn crazy. To want to be in Scientology, I'm sorry, but if you're a Scientologist, you're fucking nuts to want to be in that. But Tom Cruise as a superstar, as an actor, the guy is really great. Guy's great in movies. I recommend you see the new Mission Impossible. I thought it was really good. So here we go. ECW, another edition of 25 Extreme ECW Moments. This is part 5, the final part of the series. I started with number 25. And now we start part 5 of 25 Extreme ECW Moments. Part 5 starts off with number 5 down to number 1. Number 5, ECW gets on pay-per-view in 1997 with Barely Legal. I believe it's April 13th. I think that was the date. Anyways, April 13th or whatever the date was, 1997. As I said, is the first ever ECW pay-per-view, Barely Legal. The main event was billed as Sabu versus Taz. It was great build-up because they didn't touch each other for 1 or 2 years. They didn't even get to attack each other for 1 or 2 years. It was great build-up. Paul Heyman, the guy's a genius. He kept Sabu, Taz away from each other until the pay-per-view. But before they got on pay-per-view, it's a miracle that ECW actually got on pay-per-view, and it was the fan base of ECW kept bugging and calling and emailing, I guess, the president of one of the pay-per-view companies or that was on cable and satellite. So ECW gets on pay-per-view is number 5. ECW on pay-per-view. As I said, their pay-per-view first ever one was Barely Legal. Some of the matches, you had Michinoku Pro Wrestling, Japanese Michinoku Pro Wrestling featuring the Great Sasuke, Gran Hamada, and Gran Hamada and Gran Hoku up against Dick Togo, Terry Boy, and Taka Michinoku. That was a very fast-paced, awesome, action-packed 6-man tag. Other matches, you had the Dudley Boys against the Eliminators. You had the franchise Shane Douglas against Pitbull 2. You had a 3-way dance to crown a new number 1 contender, Terry Funk. The Sandman, Stevie Richards. That was pretty good, hardcore 3-way. And you had Taz and Sabu. And then you had the final match of the pay-per-view where Terry Funk defeated Raven for the ECW World title. The thing that I always thought was odd was why was Tommy Dreamer not in a match at Barely Legal? I don't get it. He definitely deserved to be. And before, as I said, I thought it was a miracle that ECW got on pay-per-view. Their fans got them on pay-per-view, no doubt about it, because ECW was a small promotion. They just ran the Northeast, the East Coast. That's where they ran their shows. Like 95% of their shows were ran in Philadelphia, ECW Arena, South Philly. They did run some shows in New York in 96 and in 97. Before their first pay-per-view, they did run some shows in Massachusetts and Boston. So basically, before they got on pay-per-view, they were a really small company. They just ran Philly, New York, a few times, in Massachusetts. And that's it. Nowhere else, really. They just went to New York, Massachusetts, and Philly before the first pay-per-view. And then definitely in 98, they went on the road a lot more. Got to go on the road a lot more. And then 99, 2000, ECW went on the road a lot more for their pay-per-views. I actually was at one of their pay-per-views, Hardcore Heaven 2000, came to my hometown and I was there. I thought it was an awesome show. The crowd was really hype. Number 4, Raven. This is like this storyline. Number 4, Raven kidnaps the Sandman's wife and his child. That was a great storyline. Great, real, felt like real emotion. Didn't even feel like a storyline. Felt real. Felt really real. And Raven would cut promos that were epic. Backstage, he'd be sitting like on the floor with Sandman's wife and his kid next to him. And he'd be laughing at the Sandman saying, "I'm your kid's dad now," stuff like that. It was great. And it got Raven a ton of heat from the fans. And at one point, Raven, I guess, conned the Sandman's son to reunite with him in the ring. Sandman went like this to hug him, and then from behind, Raven caned the Sandman in the head and crucified him on a religious cross. And that got a lot of heat for ECW as a company by doing it. But I thought it was great. I thought it was a great storyline to get Raven heat. Why not crucify the Sandman? I wasn't offended by it. Number 3. So number 4 is Raven kidnapping the Sandman's wife and his, I believe, 7-year-old child at the time. Number 3. Taz and Bam Bam Bigelow at Living Dangerously 98. Taz and Bam Bam go through the ring to the floor. Hole in the ring. Taz has a Taz mission locked on Bam Bam. He just falls backwards and they both go crashing through the ring. First time ever something like that happened in wrestling. WCW didn't do it first. WWF did not do it first. ECW did that first. It was shocking. It was awesome. And that's why it's on this 25 Extreme ECW Moments. Number 3, Taz and Bam Bam going through the ring on pay-per-view at Living Dangerously 98. It was an awesome moment, and it was really shocking. And it was extreme. And then what do you know? In 99, WWF steals it and does it on Raw with The Big Show and The Undertaker. And WCW tried to steal it too. So, number 2. 25 ECW Extreme Moments. Number 2 is RVD and Jerry Lynn's epic feud they had. Their rivalry and their feud was great. Their matches are legendary. Their first match they had that I ever saw was on an episode of ECW TV August, maybe September 1998. It's the first time they had a match, and it was really good. I believe it was for the RVD's TV title in 98. But then in 99, they had a legendary feud Living Dangerously 99, Hardcore Heaven 99. Then they had a couple matches in on ECW on TNN. The debut of that show, they had a couple matches in Queens, New York at the Madhouse of Extreme that were really good. Then they even had matches in 2000, Hardcore Heaven 2000. It was awesome. I was there. That I believe was their final. Oh, that was not their final singles match because the last pay-per-view, Guilty as Charged, 2001, they had their final match. Then they both were in WWE in 2001. They actually had a pretty damn good match on Sunday Night Heat. Might have been for the hardcore title. Number 2, RVD Jerry Lynn's feud. It was legendary. Their matches were great. Really good. Number one of this 25 Extreme ECW Moments. Number 1 is Shane Douglas throwing down the NWA Heavyweight Championship in 94. I believe it was August 94. Throwing down the NWA title. Basically spitting on it, pissing on it, and grabbing the new ECW World title and saying, now this is the birth of Extreme. And ECW stopped working with NWA and became Extreme. Instead of Eastern Championship Wrestling, they became Extreme Championship Wrestling. That's number 1. How could it not be? Shane Douglas wins NWA title, throws it down, creates ECW in the ECW World title. Awesome, awesome moment. So this was part 5. Hope you enjoyed this series. If you're an ECW fan and you've enjoyed it, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'm a big ECW fan. Always will be. I loved what they did. Their short time in business. I loved what they did. They changed the business for the better, and also maybe not for the better, because they did everything. They did too much, as I've said. The only way I can explain it, ECW did too much to give the fans too much. So now the fans are basically, we've seen it all. If you've watched ECW or the Attitude Era, we've seen it all. Nothing in 2018 can really shock or surprise any fans. Not many new things that companies can do. Not really anything new or gimmick matches they can come up with, because everything was done and seen already, not just in ECW but in wrestling. Hope you enjoyed this show. Part 5, 25 Extreme ECW Moments. Bye for now, everybody. Have a great weekend.